again, just the introduction. So MLTI, Epic App Battle. Hopefully that's why people are here. And I will go through the team members. I'll let them do a brief introduction of themselves.
Everybody, my name is Rob Dominic. I'm a MLTI ambassador. Thanks for the shout out, John's Dogs. I am MLTI ambassador, working in the Brewer region. Brewer Bangor is where I'm located. And prior to this, I was teaching at Brewer Community School.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Graffam. I'm also an MLTI ambassador, and I'm located down here in Southern Maine. And prior to this, I was a technology instructional coach at Scarborough Middle School.
I'm John Graham. I'm the digital elementary learning, or the elementary digital learning specialist, and the co-lead on the MLTI ambassadors team.
Hi, I'm Kate Meyer. I'm one of the MLTI ambassadors, and prior to this, I was an English teacher and a design thinking teacher at Mount Desert Island High School in Bar Harbor.
Hey everyone, Eric Wade, also an MLTI ambassador. I live kind of central Maine, and before I came to this position, I taught science and math at Pittsfield, or Warsaw Middle School in Pittsfield.
And I'm Jonathan Werner. I am the fifth of the ambassadors, and I was the tech integrator at Cape Elizabeth Middle School, and I live in Portland. So we wanted to just tell you a little bit about the ambassador program. It has three prongs. The first is to focus on digital citizenship and support efforts from districts in that area. A second is for any work around technology integration that you'd like assistance with. And then the third is digital instructional design. As you might have been able to tell from our introductions, we each have varying areas of expertise and background, and happy to help out in any of those areas, including districts that have MLTI participants, in addition to other individuals in the district. So for example, middle school teachers and high school teachers at the same time.
And Jonathan, I've linked some more information if people would like to explore that a little bit more in the chat.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you very much. So we're going to be going through these in the order that people were just introduced. So that is alphabetical by last name. So we're going to be going through. There's a timer in the corner for each person to go through their app and share their app very briefly. Again, if anybody has any questions about the app, we will probably not be taking questions now. You're certainly free to reach out to those people. And we will be sharing out this slide deck, which has resources for each of the apps that are covered. And at the end, we also have a form. So if you have a favorite app, something that intrigues you, excites you, that you already know and love, you'll be able to vote on your favorite app. And we'll see who wins the Epic App Battle. All right, Mr. Dominic, you are first.
Okay, I'm ready. There we go. Good. All right. So mine is not really a resource necessarily. It's just a little tip or trick. I'm always wondering, what my password is, and my dotted out password online, or I need to find out my password so I can use it on a different device. Instead of digging into your Google account and trying to find it that way, real simple. There's a GIF there to show you. If you right click on your dotted password and go to inspect, and then you see this little console, which looks crazy intimidating on the side. But if you just find the part that's highlighted and see the word password and then delete it off, it will I don't know, dotify, whatever you want to call it, unhide your password so it comes up so you can see it, and then you can use it on your other sites. So also a security thing to keep in mind too, that a couple clicks away, people can find your dotted password fairly quickly. It's hidden, but it's not gone. Done. 60 seconds.
All right. Thank you for that, Rob. I'm going to mention Cami, which is a Chrome extension. And this extension allows teachers and students to annotate docs, images, and PDFs. For it to work, both the student and the teacher needs to have the Kami extension, and you can find that in the Google Chrome web store. So teachers can highlight and add instructions for students like I did on this example. Students can also highlight text. They can use a text box to answer questions. There are some drawing tools that they can use. There's some shape tools. So you can see I used a circle tool here. They can also, which I found pretty cool, they can put in comments, and those comments could be questions that the student might have about a question or something that's going on in the document. Kami this is a freemium tool. If you're not familiar with the term freemium, that means that there's also a premium piece. What I'd say that the free version is pretty powerful. Kami also integrates well with Google Classroom, Canvas, and Schoology.
Nice timing. I'm going to be talking about Kids Listen, podcasts for kids. So there is an app available, so you can certainly download that and use it. If you're a parent, it can be a fantastic thing to have on your phone to play in the car. They have a variety of apps that you can access through the Kids Listen app. It also is an online database. So they kind of have curated a collection of kid-friendly apps. They're organized by content, so it can be everything from history and science themed ones. There are game ones, storytelling, mindfulness, poetry, ones that are, about being up and active and doing things, and not just kind of sitting and listening, although you certainly can do that if you want to. I think if you're interested in having kids make podcasts, this can be a nice place to start looking and finding podcasts that you like to have students listen to, because if you want them to make something, they should kind of be familiar with it. And it's also a fantastic way to find some resources to share with your students. So I would say this is kind of more geared towards elementary, middle school, but there's, lots of podcasts on there that are fantastic, and it's a great, very user-friendly interface.
All right, Moat, did you know that talking is 3 times faster than typing? Now you can save time giving feedback by recording your comments while building relationships with your students. Moat is a voice messaging Chrome extension that integrates with Google Workspace. It allows you to quickly record your voice and track student engagement with your voice comments. Moat will transcribe and translate your voice messages, and it recognizes and renders scientific and mathematical language too. Moat is great for giving personalized feedback, and students love it because they can hear the inflection in your voice as you give that feedback. And students can add the extension to their browser and respond using voice notes as well. Moat's great for adding voice comments to your Google Slides to make them more interactive. It's perfect in Google Forms, where voice comments can be left instead of written comments to make forms more accessible. If you are a math or chemistry teacher and would appreciate equations and compounds in your Moat transcriptions to appear nicely formatted, you just enable Moat's STEM mode and start talking. Not only is it a perfect feedback tool, but you can also use ready-made templates for Moat's Learning Hub to create micro podcasts, whole class audio discussions, narrated stop motion animation, audio rubrics, audio journals, speaking and listening exercises, and so much more. It also has a feature called Sticky Moats that allows you to stick voice comments on any web page. And when you share the link to that comment, you will hear your Moat in the web page that you shared.
Do your students bring you random bugs that they find on the bus or at home and ask you to identify it, which you then have to explain to them that you're a teacher and you don't know everything that exists on Earth? If you will, Bug Finder is a fantastic application. It works on computer and mobile device. It is really simple to use. All you have to do is take that bug that student brought you, take a look, put it down on your desk, go onto the website. It'll help you to break down it by shape, or if it's a spider, or if it's a moth, or whatever it might be. Click on the shape, give it some information about it, and then it will pop up a whole list of information, possible bugs that you could possibly be looking at. Therefore, then you can tell your student, yes, this is a pill bug, or this is not a pill bug. And now you can all go about your day and be happy.
Just FYI, Eric, students better not be bringing me any spiders for me to identify on my desk. Thank you.
Meanwhile, I was just about to say, you can tell which of us the timer is for and which of us don't need it. Thanks for eating up my first 20 seconds. So digital dilemmas come from Common Sense Education, and I'm a big advocate for teaching digital citizenship throughout the curriculum, across disciplines, not leaving it to be the responsibility of one individual in your building. So the way they're set up is they provide a hypothetical situation like an embarrassing story or exposed in a group chat, and then link it to 3 areas of focus: digital habits, feelings and options, and take a stand. And if you haven't experienced Common Sense Education's resources, they are student-focused, student-facing. So while there is professional development material available there too, there are pre-designed lessons which are so specific that you could actually have someone just read from a script if it's really new to you. These are set up to have a series of sort of increasingly complicated questions that arise. So you get a first fact pattern, and then you add in additional complicating factors, and they don't match any particular subject matter. They could be in an advisory or a homeroom, an ELA class, or anywhere really where you want to start this conversation.
Classtools.net, kind of a random website of random tools. It's helpful though. It's like hey, I wish I had this simple dice rolling tool, or I need a name picker, and you just put your class roster into this little wheel piece here, and then you roll it off, and then you can eliminate the names as they go. And kids love the suspense if you're doing groups that way or something like that, because they see their name as they're coming up. And there are other sites that do it too, but this one kind of has all these random things all in one spot. You want to label images, kind of like a thing link, but a little bit more free version. They has that. If you want to randomly generate groups, it has that. If you want them to make like a fake social media account about some historical figure or something, it has an outline for that. A lot of these random little pieces that you never know that you might need, or it's like, oh, that's simple, but it's effective. I'll take it. Check out classtools.net for that.
All righty. Thanks, Rob. Loom for Education video creator. So Loom for Education is a free screencasting tool, and you will add a Chrome extension that will allow you to, like I'm showing here, to screencast web pages, documents, and other files. You can screencast just the screen, or you can enable the webcam so that you can have a picture of yourself in the screencast as well. Loom for Education has many of the features of the paid version, but it is free for teachers. Particularly important is the up to 45 minutes of recording time. It's pretty hard to find a free app that is going to allow you to have that much recording time. To get access to that, all you need to do, there's a little form that you complete when you go to the Loom for Education page. It'll ask you a few questions, and they're really trying to verify your email address and that you have an actual school account, that you're actually a teacher. And then once you've been verified, which takes 1 to 2 days, I did mine on a Friday afternoon, and by Monday morning, I was, my account had been tagged as an educator account. So great screencasting tool. And remember, up to 45 minutes. And I think that that's what sets this one apart from others.
All right, EduCandy is an app that you can use, have shifted recently. It had been web-based for a long time. You can still play the games on the web, but to actually do the building, you need to have an app that you download, and I did put the operating system information that you might need. So it's fairly simple in terms of you can drop in text and have students, auto-generates a number of different types of games. So you're just adding the content and it's generating the games automatically. So it can be a list of vocabulary terms, for example, or it could be like matching, so like a word and a definition. So students could get on and, work on their vocabulary that way, or play different kinds of matching games that way. It's very fun and easy. And like I was saying, if you build it on with the EduCandy Studio app, you can have students play it on with the EduCandy Play app. They can play it on any device, any platform, and web-based. It all works.
All right, Tutori is a freemium web-based tool that you and your students can use to create beautiful collections called stories and to transform your lessons into collaborative learning experiences. Tutori was designed with the 4 C's in mind. With Tutori, students aren't just consuming, but they're also creating. Tutori enables teachers to design digital lessons and organize the lessons materials in a simple and elegant way. All activities and learning resources can be embedded right into a single Tutori story, including videos, images, files, and links. Want to host a threaded discussion with your students? Tutori can do that too. Students can use Tutori to build project-based learning portfolios. They can also use Tutori as a real-time collaborative platform for demonstrating their learning. Tutori is also interactive, so you can embed your Quizlet, Padlet, or Flipgrid. And the best part is, Tutori helps students with their link management by working in one screen as opposed to sending your students out to different websites. Tutori is a Google for Education partner, which means it integrates seamlessly with Google Workspace. And privacy matters to Tutori. All your data remains private and under your control. The free version allows you and your students to create stories, add text and images, and share and collaborate. The paid version, Tutori Unlimited, offers all of those features, plus the ability to add videos, quizzes, audio, and more. Simple and flexible, Tutori is the perfect tool to use for a wide range of purposes.
So have you ever been on recess duty and some kid walks up to you and is like, hey, I found a salamander, or I found a snake, or there's a Bigfoot in the woods, and they want you to figure out what that thing is, but it's not an insect. Grab your phone and use the Seek app from iNaturalist. All you gotta do is take a picture of it and it will automatically give you a list of what the possibilities of that animal could be. It is incredibly accurate. It's like scary how accurate this thing is. But the problem with it is that it is only for mobile devices, a tablet or a phone. But the website version doesn't have its own like kind of identifier. But it is the website iNaturalist is a citizen science website where you can then take that random snake that student found, or that random lizard that student found at recess duty, and put it up on the web for other scientists to use to say, hey, there's speckled salamanders that live in RSU 42.
So continuing my theme of teaching digital citizenship, Kate and I have been working on a series around how to help kids work on media balance and their well-being as digital consumers and students online, and came across the website that belongs to the people that created The Social Dilemma, which is an incredible Netflix documentary about how we're influenced by the industry of technology in terms of our use and our particularly our overuse and misuse of technology. So they've created a more general website called the Center for Humane Technology with all kinds of resources, but there's a specific section called the Youth Toolkits. And both Kate and I have been so impressed by how realistic they are, how thoughtful, interviewing real people, great place to start conversations, especially with older students, high school students in particular. We've been really impressed with the quality and the depth of resources that are available. And we have both discovered that our students really jump onto the opportunity to identify something that they are feeling manipulated by and find ways to push back. And this really gives a great framework for understanding how they're being attacked, I guess I would say, by media that otherwise shouldn't have the kind of negative impact on them that it has.
All right, so if you're like me and you use Google Classroom to send out assignments to students and you have them on Google Slides doing activities or you're doing notes, but you know that either one, you forgot to add a slide or so, or you wanted to add extra to it as you're going along, or two, you got that kid who's going to delete a couple of slides at the end and say they didn't get them and they can't do the assignment or whatever it is. Slip and slide is a good add-on for Google Slides, where even after you send out the slides and you've sent them to the students and they have ownership of them, you can still, using your own template that you have, that slide deck that you sent out, you can add slides to it, that those slides that you add on your template using this add-on get sent out to all the students in the Google Classroom, as long as it's linked through Google Classroom anyways. So you can add extra slides to them, or ones that you forgot in the beginning or at the end. And then like if I used it for notes, I use Google Slides for notes often in math class to help them, do activities as well as take notes at the same time. I could just queue it up and say, all right, each day here's 2 more new slides, or each week there's a couple extra slides. That's where you can do for notes, or that's where you can practice the topics and save those slides for notes later on.
All right, Insert for Learning, another Chrome extension that I'm bringing to you folks. And this one will turn any web page into a comprehensive interactive experience for your students. Again, both the students and the teacher needs this Chrome extension in order to be able to access the Insert learning tools. Within this, you can take one web page and you can embed threaded discussion that students will post responses to. You can ask formative assessment questions that you can check for student learning and understanding. You can add sticky notes, and within those sticky notes, you'll see here I inserted a video. You could insert web links. There's a little camera option on there. You can create your own video within the sticky notes, so you could provide some video instructions for your students, and you can highlight text. It is really kind of a one-stop shop for all the digital content around a specific topic. Students will access this interactive page either through a link that you give them, or this integrates with Google Classroom, so you can post it through Classroom and students can, as long as they have the extension, can access it there. The teachers have a separate Insert Learning dashboard that they can use to monitor student activity.
Flippity, or flippity.net, is a game and tool generating website. It leverages Google tools, primarily Google Sheets, and you can modify those sheets to modify a variety of games. It's fairly easy to navigate. They have demos and instructions to really walk you through it. So if you're curious about how something might work before you go through and actually building the thing, you can try a sample and get a sense of if that is a tool that you would like to use, or if that is a game that you would like to build. I've often had teachers ask about, how could I do a Jeopardy game with my students? Well, with the Flippity Quiz Show, you can very easily pull content into a Jeopardy style game to do with your students. And I'm so excited to announce that they now have a Wordle game generator that you might be interested in if you are one of the many people who is now obsessed with Wordle on your social media. So that's an opportunity to bring that right into your classroom. They have other tools like a badge tracker, random name picker, and the ability to have a quiz that creates certificates. So those can all be, very utilitarian things that you might need to use in your classroom. Then they have some fun things in there like word searches and crosswords. And my absolute favorite one, Mad Libs. So I would definitely take some time to check out Flippity and bring it into your classroom.
Ground your students in the joy of being silly, mindful, and curious with Go Noodle. GoNoodle is a free web-based collection of videos and games that encourages students to get up and moving for brain breaks in the elementary classroom. GoNoodle focuses on empowering students through movement. Videos include themes such as speaking your truth, being curious, putting good in and giving good out, how to disagree, and meaningful change through diversity and inclusion. Simply choose a video or to project on your large screen in your classroom during transition time between activities, maybe while lining up before quiet time, during class celebrations, when students come in for recess, before a test, or during the afternoon lull in order to get everyone's blood pumping. Or use GoNoodle's mindfulness lessons to focus on strengthening body, mind, and heart with its Empower tools. GoNoodle takes no time to set up, has content of a variety of lengths from 1 minute to 20 minutes, and just requires you to press play. Videos can be used as standalone activities, but if you want more, there are curriculum tie-ins and class activities who want to dig a little, for teachers who want to dig a little bit deeper. On the screen here, you're seeing a list of some of their playlists and then a peek into some of the video options within the playlist. My personal favorite being Gobble Gobble Burp, a call and response song and games that gets students up and moving. Honestly, GoNoodle is so much fun. It makes me wish that I taught elementary age students.
Student, Mr. Wade, is that a crow or a raven? Me, I have absolutely no idea. Let's use Merlin and figure it out. Merlin is web-based. You can use it like on the internet or on your phone. And it really is designed to identify birds. From the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, you can either use a picture that you have on your phone or take a picture and it will identify it and help you decide whether or not you're looking at a crow or a raven. And if you still don't know, one of the coolest parts about Merlin is that it has the ability to recognize birds by their bird calls. So we can automatically decide whether or not you're looking at you're listening to a cardinal or you're listening to a chickadee just by turning on Merlin and listening to the sound. And if you've recorded it before, you can upload it onto the website and it will tell you whatever that bird was. It's incredibly accurate. Like, again, it's one of those like how scary accurate this thing is.
By the way, Eric is actually in a school. That's not an impressive opportunity for virtual reality. So third one for me is utilizing the Creative Commons and Openverse. I think frequently we're just Google image searching for something to use in a presentation, or that's where we direct students for media content. And both Creative Commons and then Openverse, which is set up to search Creative Commons instead of generally searching the web. There are 600 million items in the Creative Commons that Openverse searches. So just directing kids there and then letting them know that all they need to provide in terms of a citation is title, author, source, and license. So it's a phenomenal reminder about the importance of appropriate credit, creative credit to the person who's developed that resource. But at the same time, it's not overwhelming. They don't need to go through the whole process of appropriate citation forms. You may teach that at a higher level, but even for a young kid, it's quite simple to pull title, author, source, and license. And I searched Rocket Man. I found this. There must have been several hundred Rocket Man choices. If you use the corollary to this, which is Wikimedia Commons, and when you get these slides, it's linked in the resource slide for this. Wikimedia Commons also has sound and video files in addition to just the images that are primarily what's in the Creative Commons.
All right, well, if you're a digital pack rat like I am, and you're just create because it's there and it's free and nobody can stop you, then you might get buried underneath some things. And there's Drive and there's email. There's a bunch of different things that you could try to organize. You at least have a tip for you with your Gmail, anyways. Instead of trying to filter or organize every email that comes in, especially if you sign up online for like retailers and such. If you can put a plus after your initial part of your email, your information before the @ symbol, you can put a plus and then whatever you want, and it's still going to go to that email that you have, right? So if I had my email, robertdominic@gmail, if I put plus Robert Dominic plus shopping at Gmail, it's still going to come to that same email. but it's going to have that plus shopping on it. And then I can use a filter at that point. Anything with plus shopping or plus school, whatever it is, I can make my own filter that way. And everything that comes from that will come in that filter box instead of my normal inbox. So again, obviously it works a lot with signing up online. If you do it in person, you could tell them it's plus whatever at the end. They might give you a weird look at retail, but whatever, you know, a couple minutes later, you're gone, they'll forget about you, you're fine. But anyway, so use that to help organize your inbox. And a bonus tip, you don't need the dot when you say your email either. It's just there for your own visual to represent it. You could just say, I could just say Robert.Dominic, or I could just say Robert Dominic, and it's all the same.
All right, for my final app, I'm going to talk a little bit about the online voice recorder app. And whether you're looking to make podcasts or to add audio components to your Google Slides, the online voice recorder is the perfect tool for you. There's a lot of online voice recorders, but there's a few things that I really like about this one. It doesn't, for one thing, save your data for this, and it's super simple to use. So students and teachers can easily access this tool. Basically, you go to the link, you click on the red icon to start recording. You can use the double white lines over there to pause it. And then when you're done, you hit stop. And then it will bring you to this trimming space. You cannot trim in the middle, which is one little downfall to that, but you can trim off dead space at the beginning or dead space at the end, and then click save, and away you go. You've saved this to your device. It is now ready for you to embed and share. So you can put this, like I said, as a podcast on Google Slides. You can share this out with others. This is a freemium version, so there are some file and per day recording limits, but they're pretty reasonable. And if you found that you went over those, it's about $60 a year for the premium version. So again, it's very accessible.
My final app, I'm sharing Incredibox, which is a really cool drag and drop music generating program. So you can see I have my line of characters there. So you have a variety of singing styles that you can pick from. And then each of those characters, you can select different music styles. So students can change those up. They can mute things, isolate things. They can make recordings out of them. It's really, I think, a fun thing for students to do, you know, with some downtime, exploring some different music styles. It's definitely very engaging. And one of the many ways that I've used it before is having, you know, music while people are thinking, while people are doing some activity, if you just want some kind of interesting background noise. And I loved to use it for assemblies when students would come in, because that would be projecting up on the screen and they'd hear it, and they would, oddly enough, they would kind of quiet down and like want to listen and hear what's going on and watch, you know, watch carefully to like see what the characters are going to do. So it can be a nice way to like bring students into your classroom and engage them in different ways.
All right, see in real time who's on track and who needs a little extra help with Formative. Formative is a freemium web-based platform where teachers can quickly and easily create reflective, student-centered formative assessments from scratch, or use assessments that are already created for you in the assessment library. In Formative, teachers can see students' work as they complete graphic organizers, work out math problems, annotate an image, or work through a science lab. Teachers can give immediate and customized real-time feedback, track student progress over time, chat privately with students about their work, giving them the chance to try, fail, and try again. The data you gather can be used to inform future instruction, eliminating the guesswork that sometimes comes when planning lessons. Formative allows teachers to engage their students using multimodal questions, short answer, multiple choice, true false, essay, graphing, audio, and more. And teachers can grab their students' attention with different content options like audio, video, embedded links, and images. Formative works seamlessly with Google Classroom, Clever, Microsoft, Canvas, and more. The free version allows educators to create unlimited formatives, use real-time student tracking, and basic integrations. Their premium version offers all of this, plus allowing for further customization, more advanced grading tools, and more efficiency tools that will help you save time. Use Formative to reach every student every time.
So imagine you are outside with your students, right? Everything's going really well. They're out doing their work and whatever. A student walks up to you and hands you a handful of green leaves, looks you dead in the eye and says, "Is that poison ivy?" You can then take your phone out and take a picture of it. And using the app PlantNet, which is app-based and web-based, you can decide whether or not that is poison ivy or not. You can use this by using the app, like I said, and just take a picture of it right then. Or you can bring the leaf in with you, put it in front of your computer camera, take a picture, add it into the website, and it will automatically generate some ideas of what it thinks you have in your hands. The only thing that it won't do is find you the nearest Walgreens to get some calamine lotion.
The theme for Eric's slides is taking the mystery out of life. What are these things? Now I know. Okay, my last one is reverse image searching. If you haven't done this before, let's start with that image of the Rainbow Mountains there. And a student gives it to you or you see it and you're not sure what it is. If you go to images.google.com, you can either search for the images directly there by typing in words, or you can take the image and drag it in and it will read it and then tell you what it knows about what it is. So in this case, Rainbow Mountains of Peru. It'll tell you if there's other sizes of it available, like if you'd like a higher resolution version. And then kind of cool, it'll give you visually similar images. So if it's a photograph that, let's say, for example, a student took while they were traveling in France, and you're pretty sure that they're not actually identifying the Eiffel Tower, when in fact it's clearly a picture of Notre Dame, dragging that photograph in will give it sort of a check against the database and show you other things that are similar, so that if it was a landmark or an individual that you didn't recognize, it would help you identify. So on the one side, it's a little creepy because it seems to know things it shouldn't know, but at the same time, it's incredibly helpful, and also along the lines of verification to know whether or not what someone's providing is actually a real photograph. It'll help you with that as well. Before we wrap up, I wanted to just put the link in again for the Ambassador Program and the Professional Learning website that has the information and contact information for all of us, as well as the opportunity to invite any of us to come join you in your schools, either in person or virtually. If there are ways that we can help you out in any of those original areas that I described, we'd love to do it. And of course, be in contact if you have any questions about any of the apps that we described today.
So I did want to share, so we'll share the link to this slide deck out, and you can see that there are slides that we have on here with the rainbow painted background, and those will be the resource slides. So if you want to learn more about an app, sometimes it's directing you out to a website or some other resources. I think that might be helpful for people if they're wanting to dig a little bit deeper than the 90 seconds that we had to share. Can people hear that?